Yeah, what the fuck is good, y'all? It's your boy Bugs back with the Full Circle Podcast. Finally got Caliber.
We're here.
How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm a little tired.
Tired? Why are you tired?
Just, I don't know. Working a lot.
Working a lot.
But
Yeah,
good though, man.
last night we stayed up pretty late, just listening to some vibes, some stuff that we're creating. I'm working on an album. You're working on an album.
Yeah, man.
Gnarly shit.
Working on both of them.
All right, didn't expect to start here right there. Fucking what is inspiring this piece of work right here? Because everything that you dropped so far, before we get into anything else, let's just go right into the music. This piece of work, the album you're working on right now, what is inspiring these sounds? Because obviously you did the instrumental, The Illusion John.
I've just made a lot of weird music. I made a lot of out there music, a lot of stuff that that I made just because I wanted to experiment and I wanted to try new things. I wanted to use new technology and experiment with synthesizers, and so that's what I've been doing for the last few years. And now I've just gotten re-inspired by just sitting down with my guitar and writing songs, and I just kind of felt this urge to strip things back a little bit and just write some simple songs, write some music that, because I've always had this feeling about wanting to make music that I want to make stuff that's adventurous and you know, I like making really long music and ditching traditional structure and just doing whatever I feel called to do in the song, and I've done a lot of music that way. But
that's the most what I'm a fan of the most.
I love that kind of stuff. I love that kind of stuff. But lately, I've been finding myself craving to just create a little more structure, and do some songwriting in a more traditional way, just to challenge myself. I think it's fun. You know, I think it's fun to focus on what I'm doing on my instrument and thinking about every detail of the way that comes across, and combining that with putting a lot of attention in the songwriting, and then just arranging a piece of music that has, you know, vocals, guitars, drums, bass, and so this album is kind of I'm kind of veering off into this little area where I'm making simpler music, but I'm finding it to be equally satisfying because one, it's
what makes it simpler to you? Why do you describe it as simpler?
Well, I don't have a lot of songs out that are like a verse, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus.
The structure,
yeah, and a lot of my songs are like I have a couple songs that are just a couple of verses, you know, and then like I always have repeating sections, so there's always this feeling of some kind of repeating, like almost like a hook. Yeah. Sometimes it might be a guitar part, a guitar section. It might be like a synth section or a riff, a motif. Yeah. So I use a lot of that kind of stuff. But these songs have choruses, and they have a little bit more of a traditional structure.
Yeah, they got a bridge.
But that doesn't mean that I don't mean to make it sound like
simple's
that
not
makes them more
downplaying
boring.
Yeah.
I'm putting twice as much effort into making those sections work.
We've had that discussion about subtraction in music, because I think what a lot of musicians and artists in general, like painters, anybody who just has ideas, you kind of just splatter it onto the canvas for the first couple years that you do this. And for every artist that's starting, don't just fucking expect to be doing what you want to do in the beginning. The point is kind of just to get all the ideas out, But after doing that for years and years, you get to a position where you can kind of like, okay, let me take this away. Let me not, I don't need to do all this in this song. I don't need to do all of this. So like to describe it as simple doesn't mean it's easier to play, because all you've been saying today while you're trying to play it is like, damn, this shit is actually hard and complex, even though it's more simple. So that's why I asked, why do you describe it as simple? So like that makes sense though in the structure.
Structure-wise, the parts
Yeah.
themselves are still challenging, particularly on the guitar. I put a lot more focus on the guitar on these songs than I have in the last probably 5 years or so. You know, I think when people think of my songs, they probably think about like a guitar solo, or because I put a lot of that kind of stuff in my music.
Yeah, shit's
but this album, typically I do a lot of my chords on the keys, and I kind of think through songs on the keys. The last few years, that's been my kind of approach when I think about chords. Is I write them on the piano because I find it to be easier to use that instrument to make chord progressions.
Yeah.
But I've been putting a lot more focus on the chord progressions and writing them on the guitar. And I've just been trying to get better, learning. Like I was telling you yesterday, I learned a couple of James Taylor songs, and that really opened my eyes to more fingerstyle playing, and the ways that like guitarists like that, they'll be playing like they're playing a bass line, a lead, and the chords all at the same time, and they're individually each part of that melody and bass line and all that is being picked with this right hand.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And it's really challenging, and
So that's usually what's happening with the left hand on the piano, and the right hand does that, but you're doing that all with the picking.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so like the thumb might be playing like a little bass line, and then the other fingers are playing kind of like a lead on top, and then all of them are sort of outlining the chord. That's what I think is really cool.
Yeah, that's gnarly. Yeah, so you're getting into that. Yeah, I can see how that all plays into what you're already doing with your music. That's gnarly.
And it's also been like lately, sometimes like with music, you gotta, like when you do this shit for a really long time, eventually you start figuring out that sometimes you have to find ways to make it work in your day-to-day life for you to be able to like work on music all the time in some way or another.
Yeah. You have to fit it
because you might not have a lot of time. Like I'm lucky that the work that I'm usually doing is working on music in some way, but it's usually these days like I'm working on more other people's music most of the time.
That's why I took a step back from engineering. That's literally why I did that. Like that was my job for a long time, and I didn't know why I wasn't satisfied with my music, and I didn't realize that there was a fatigue that your ears naturally get physically. You only get like 3-4 hours that you can
there's
really...
a creative fatigue that comes with it.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was like, no, I got juice. I ain't going to worry about none of that. I got bars for days. I'm not worried about that. But no, like it's looking at a screen. So now you're also doing like a cubicle kind of job at the same time because you're sitting staring at a screen the whole time. So it's like when you combine all of those together after a 4-hour session of somebody else, it's kind of like you're dragged. You're not even ready to do what you're not motivated. I mean, you can do it still. That's not what I'm saying, but it's like any job is going to do that though. So like to squeeze that in as a musician it's just like fitting in a workout through your week. Like you kind of gotta do it. You got to if you're going to really do this shit. And it's expression. So to fit that in is important. It's crucial. So like in the midst of doing it as an engineer, though, an audio engineer as a musician is hard to do. That's hard. Like, that's why I stopped doing it. So, like, so for you to find that motivation still is, that's why you're drained right now, though, dude. That's why you're tired all the time.
Yeah. I'll say there's two sides to it.
Yeah.
One of the sides is that, you do get really drained because, like, when you're constantly being creative,
you have to live a little.
It's almost like you need a little something in between. But I don't feel. I feel like every time I show up to the studio, I'm like able to get into that mindset. But it's been something that I've like trained myself to do over time. Whereas in the beginning, it was hard for me to do long hours because of that. Because I would creatively drain myself.
That's what I was worried about. That was my only worry. But same thing with my homie Prince.
And
Alexander.
it still happens. But I've gotten. Just over time, I've become a lot more relaxed in the studio and confident, and that allows me to kind of ease into it more and just kind of get. And actually, and if you really get into it, then you get something out of it, and then you take something, and that might apply something like I might do something on somebody else's song might lead me to an idea that I might do in my own
That's
music.
the plus side of it too. Yeah, the collabs and all those things that happen.
And I get to work on awesome stuff. Like shout out to Matthews. We just wrapped up an album that he just recorded mostly over with me at Spit. And man, that's an incredible album. He's got all kinds of stuff on that thing.
Fuck yeah. No, like that was but that's the issue I found myself running into when I was doing a lot of sessions. I was like, it's not that I lost motivation. It is just a fatigue thing. That's all it is. But I'm happy to hear that we both kind of discovered. I mean, we knew about the subtraction, I'm sure, the whole time, but we both discovered and decided to apply subtracting our ideas, like some layers from it. And
100%. You're on the same in a completely different style.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing with removing. Sometimes it's about like what. It's about getting to the point sometimes, and only having the elements that are necessary in a piece of music.
Yeah. And
not overloading things with.
Yeah. So what I mean by simple is like 3 sounds.
Yeah.
And the drums.
They just have to sound great. That's all you have.
It's the sound selection at that point. And because what I do is like when I produce by myself is just, it's there. I got the structure. Now I just want to keep playing. I just want to keep playing and adding shit on top of it. And by the time I'm done, I have a loop with 16 sounds. That could be 16 different versions of it. But that's why I wanted to make my album with you, because it'll make me like, okay, this is it. This is the sound. This is where we're going. This is the song. This is it. This is the one. like.
Yep.
So it's making
me. And when everyone hears this album, like basically like the way we made this album, mainly, I did a few random things that I sort of came up with or whatever, but mainly it's like Bugs clearly has an idea of what the song's gonna be. And then we meticulously create every element like exactly.
But it's not. But I don't know what I'm doing until like the sound is found. Like that's the thing.
Sometimes, there's like some where you have a more clear idea, and others where we kind of stumble into something. But then you just like know exactly what it needs to be, and I'm like, all right, let's do it, and we just make it happen.
And that's huge because like that's the way that I'm describing it to people is like. I could buy the synthesizer you have and the equipment that you have, and I could make the songs myself. But the point is that you can play the instruments, and then like no one can. Like I was telling you,
we get it done quick.
So like the fact that I could like, wait, why would I buy or just like ask to borrow, for example, your shit when I could just like have the talent of that inputted into it, and if you were willing to like just be like. Robotic Cal for a second in that sense, I guess, but you're not because like you're picked. Like I said, you do that shit quick. I'm gonna put a clip right here. Right here is that clip. Class Arts Mark. Fucking the solo that we just fucking did in there, that's fucking insane. That's insane. The fact that I've had this in my head, and every time I play this song in the car for the last month since we made it, and I'm just
you've known exactly
in my head,
every note of the solo.
Yeah.
He knows.
I've been
and
playing
he just tells
it.
me what to play, and I'm just like,
and he just fucking does it, and he just does it, dude. So it's like it's one thing about having the idea and like, okay, well now I got to buy a guitar. Now, well wait, why doesn't it sound like that? I have to buy this specific pedal. I have to buy this specific string and. Touch the thing. So when I was like, I need you to make it cry in a certain spot. Do you know like the term of that? What is that called?
It's a pinch harmonic.
A pinch harmonic. Yeah. I was like, make it cry right there. Do. And he fucking just did it, dude. That shit is beyond me. And that's like what gets me going. Like the fact that I have, honestly, like the Avicii documentary, you should watch it. I never really listened to Avicii and stuff. I'm not like, but I'm big into documentaries, and I love the story of how people became the people that they did. And one of his things as a producer is he produced it all, but he went and got specific musicians that he wanted to do the certain parts of the songs, and that's what was different at the time. And I was like, I've been overthinking how I have to make this album for so long, and I was like, I know I want the consistent sound that Cal gets with the masters. But at the same time, if I wanted anybody to play these instruments, it's also Cal.
Yeah, bro. We've been overdue for like a collaboration on something like this.
Avicii really inspired that for me to like just reach out to you. Like, yo, would you be willing to basically be the mechanics behind the brain, you know what I mean, and just produce and help me like write this shit.
Yeah.
And like with full intention of like fully accepting any input that you have, because as a musician I've never been like that. Anybody who offers input to me, I absolutely just erase it. Yeah. Like, and because that's like not an ego thing, it's like originality thing. Like I want to be as original as possible. But by moving into which I haven't announced it yet, but I'm about to be a DJ, and moving into that side of the music by creating this shit like that, it's bringing my love back into it. I haven't listened to music in 12 years since I started making music because I don't want to copy or have an influence, especially as a guitarist. It's probably,
I feel like listening to music is
really hard
nowadays.
As a guitarist, though, when you learn certain chords and you think you came up with something and then you realize it's a song that's already made or something like that. And as far as chord progressions go.
Yeah.
Because there's probably only certain, like, patterns you can go and shapes until you expound on certain things. So all that layers into like everything that I've been through in this, and really just simplifying everything. What do I really want out of this shit? I want to fucking dance. I want to dance. So like, why the fuck am I not making dance music? It was just like such an easy epiphany that I had. And then same thing with you. You were like, well, everything that I've done so far to this point has been this. Let me peel it back and go simpler terms in terms of like you said the structure, but those songs are fucking 2080 motherfucker. Like
yeah, they kind of have that vibe.
That shit is so fire. Fucking on
2080.
2080 straight up. That shit is so dope. I'm genuinely a fan of it, and I love everything that we're making right now for my project. So what we have coming is
shout out to Aaron
shit.
And Albie, my drummer and bass player. They contributed to these songs as well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
not all of them, but
yeah, and I forgot about the other shit that you like were talking about. You're not even gonna release it. It needs to be released. That shit that you were talking about.
I'm trying to remember what
that other, like that 15-minute jam that I was just ranting to you last night while the music was playing, and every 5 minutes you were just like listening to me talking. You're like, this part's cool. Turn to play.
Yeah, I remember.
Like one of those Johns.
I'm gonna add lyrics to that and stuff and finish it for sure. That's the plan.
I'm a fan. So like as an artist, like imagine working with like the person you're genuinely a fan of. Like that's kind of what's happening.
I feel like that all the time too, man.
Mm-hmm. And like and that happening from like how it's connected. Like there's a lot of heavy weight connected to it, but yeah, dude. So other than that though, are you thinking about any shows anytime soon?
The next one I got on the calendar is Beard Fest, music festival in New Jersey.
When's that one?
That's it's June 26th through 30th. I don't have my specific date yet, but I'm on the lineup there. So that's the next one. We're bringing the full band for that.
I just like
4-piece band for the first time.
I need a shower. I need a shower. What are you guys doing? What are people gonna do? What are they gonna do?
What if you need a shower?
Yeah. If I need a shower, what are they gonna do? No. What are they gonna do?
You need a shower right now?
No. Yeah, actually, I love showers, dude. Who doesn't love showers? How do you feel about showers? 1 to 10.
Showers are good.
1 to 10 showers. I think showers are good.
Showers?
They're 10.
I
They're
think
12.
a 7 or an 8 for me, bro.
You're more of a bath guy.
I do the cold shower every single time, so maybe that influences a little bit, makes it a little less.
Why do you do cold showers?
Well, I do the hot first and then the cold. I don't know. I'm just saying. I've been doing it for years.
You're one of them. Yeah. You're one of them. You're just like shock the skin.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just once it becomes a habit, you just start doing it, and you just start doing it.
I've tried it. I've tried the cold shower to like shock me and wake me up before. Interesting. So, dude.
I just took a drink of this and thought it was the apple juice. And
I did that. Dude, right before this podcast, I had 2 cups like this, and somehow I poured Jack in both of them. And I took a shot, chased it with, or no, it's not Jack, Red Label, and chased it with the fucking whiskey. Couldn't believe that I just did that, so I was like, wait, this is apple juice. Did it again. It took 4 shots. A Red Label. So what's that stuff? Tell the people what this is. What's that stuff you keep putting in your fucking face?
This is the ad section of the podcast. These are Zins.
Alright, word.
And they keep you energized.
They keep you energized. These are
in a very
pens.
unhealthy way.
Those are Zins. These are pins. These keep you not energized.
We got our marijuana.
Mary.
We
Cheers.
got our drinks.
Touch tips.
Got our Zins.
Touch tips. So let me ask you this. What's your favorite sound in music? Like, or just in general? What's your favorite sound?
Can we listen to something or no? Like a 5-second clip or something? Dude, I've been listening to Cockatoo Twins.
No, I mean, like, not other people's stuff. I mean, we can listen to our shit. But not other people's shit. That'll get flagged in a second. They will take all the money from
What
me.
about our stuff? What's the question?
What's your favorite sound?
Of my, like that I do?
Like, just period. Just like, is it at a piano?
My favorite sound, honestly, man, what will always speak to my soul is a fucking guitar solo. When it hits at the right time, you know, articulated in the way that speaks. For me, there's nothing like that moment.
That's how I feel.
Song. So I just always was like a massive fan of just rock music in general, but like Jimi Hendrix. You know, I loved Led Zeppelin as a little kid. Loved Jimmy Page.
So guitar solos are my favorite, but I think my favorite sound is like a synth of some sort. Like,
synths are such a beautiful sound. I fell in love with the sound of
solos. Is what? Where did the solos go, dude? Why don't any songs on the radio?
I think
when the radio's playing a song and the solo and they fucking stop the song during the solo, I freak the fuck out.
I've never even heard that. That's
You've never been.
Crazy.
You never had a song playing.
And
they cut Freebird short.
You can't do that.
That's what they do on the radio. They cut shit short. And like the solo is just playing, and then it's 95 point.
If you're gonna play Freebird, you should if you're gonna play part of it, just play only the solo.
Yeah, you're right. Don't even play the song. Just play the solo. That's the whole point, dude. That's my favorite part of songs.
I love the slide and stuff like that. There's nothing like the sound of that beautiful slide guitar.
Yeah. See, like that's. I think every song should have at least a little motif or section of a musical solo, because when you put lyrics on everything, that's why I love Peaks and Valleys with what we did when you put lyrics on stuff, it's like it really puts it into a box of this language, this person having to understand or come to grips with like the words being spoken because they have meaning behind them, whereas a sound is just. It makes you feel what you feel, and whatever you're specifically going through, you're going to imagine and think about during listening to it.
Yeah.
And whether it's a positive sound, which makes you think positive, or whatever, that's what's going to happen. And every song has a unique little moment, and it's a sound selection thing there, but every song has a moment. Every single rap song, every single country song, every single EDM song, they have a moment where they should just put at least 8 bars, dude. Give us 8 bars.
And like lyrics,
a bass, anything.
Lyrics do so much where they give the song an angle, and it's like that angle may or may not resonate with, like, some people might hear the music and they might enjoy it, and then they might
until you start singing,
and then they hear what the lyrics are, and they don't
heartbreak or anything,
you know.
Like,
and so it's like it's interesting because vocals are like the most ear grabbing element of the music for most people. That's what they hear. That's what they focus on.
Yeah.
But it's also
you're
at the disadvantage of
just feeling.
Well, it's like if you're not writing something that is interesting to people, like nobody why should anybody care?
Yeah. And then there is the mass.
But you
thing,
can't
like
write
the
that
message.
way though. You can't write trying to just write something interesting as the only goal. You know, like I think it has to be connected to something.
It has to be
been
true,
felt or experienced,
a genuine thing. Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Even if it's sometimes you just need to live life
projection.
A little. You just need to live a little, because even if you have experiences and stories that you can just tap back into and write about, Like sometimes it's just like last night we could have made so much music last night, but we just lived last night. You know, we could have did a podcast last night with all the conversations we had last night. We could have did a podcast, but we just
that was a real podcast. Was last night.
Last night, yeah. But I needed that. You know, I needed that.
Needed it bad,
that's huge. So I'm aware of like I document everything musically is my journal. I document everything on this. It's like a journal, and there are certain moments in life where I'm aware of like, nah, the cameras aren't here right now. Like, even put the phones away type shit, and that's the balance as an artist I've had to find as well. Of like I was saying earlier, am I going to this because I want to go to this, or am I going because there might be potentially some good content that I could get in terms of. And not content in terms of like physical on my phone. I mean, in like a story to live.
I think the balance of that is if it's fun for you to document things and have that be a part of the process, and it doesn't
impede on energy or time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's always going to have some element of that. But if you find it to be like a net positive for the overall experience of making stuff, because you now get to share it with people and to share that experience with other people. You know, it's probably a net positive.
Yeah, it is. It is. All right, well, then in those terms, it always is. That's why we do it. It's always a positive. There's always a get back with music and art. There's always, you get so much from it, bro.
There's that thing where it's just you and the music, and there's no camera involved. That is, and even sometimes no recording involved.
Well, that's the most important parts, yeah.
It's the part when you're just... And it's okay to just record. Like, we're making music, basically just recording it, but we're also having the moments of, like, figuring it out beforehand and stuff.
Yeah. A lot of those. There's a lot of those. But the camera changes everything, though. Like, those moments when we're just making the song, if we put the camera on and we know and we forget about it.
I don't even think about it. When you put up the camera, I don't think about it.
I don't either at this point, But there is an element there, though. Like, if we remember that the camera's on or something. It's like, it doesn't matter for us at this point, but in the beginning, I could see how that would fuck with people. Yeah. Like, the camera being on and it adding an element to, like, oh, I'm being watched. Which, by the way, we're all being watched at all times right now. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up, for real. But no, what was the last point that you made right there?
Dude.
For lack of being a stoner and retard.
Yeah, when I'm smoking weed, bro, I can't remember 2 seconds ago. No way. That shit's gone, bro. That shit's gone.
That shit's gone, bro. Continue the comment. Talk about something else. Fuck it up. All right, word. So what's your favorite color?
I got one. I was just thinking, like...
I love podcasts.
I've just been focusing on the part of the music before you're recording and before there's a camera involved.
That's what we're talking about.
There's nothing. There's nothing like being recorded. That changes the relationship that you have almost to like where the music is coming from, like the source of creativity. I think likes to hide from the recording process. And
because it's not pressure.
Sometimes you need to let it grow a little bit.
You need to fuck up a lot of times.
Yeah.
And if the camera's on, you're worried about fucking up and not actually fucking up.
Yep.
You're gonna fake a fuck up.
Yeah.
You're gonna it's like an imposter syndrome happens heavy in those moments. Yep. You're right.
But it's interesting because it's also really important to be super comfortable with the recording process. So you got to be recording all the time, in my opinion. Like it's important to have a lot of experience.
I agree. You need to if
pressing record.
I don't believe in writer's block. That just means what you're writing is whack. Write it. Get the shitty water out of the faucet. That just means sometimes that just means put the pen down. Sometimes it means pick the guitar up. Sometimes that means pick the drumsticks up. Sometimes
that's an important point. Sometimes it
means do something else. Seriously, that's all it means. Because if you want to write a song but you're only a writer, then and it's not working for you that night, it's not writer's block. You just don't have any experience, like life experience recently, or you might be in a mood and you want to write about something, but what you're writing is corny. Yeah, dude, I don't believe in writer's block at all. It's not a real thing. You just have to keep writing.
Yeah, you got to keep writing, and you got to keep learning. Like when you learn
something new, yeah.
When you learn something, you stimulate your creative side. You grow. When you learn something, your creative side like grows in the same way to compensate for the new thing that you've learned. So like when you learn some new chords or something like that for the first time that you've never tried, there's like a part of your brain that sort of unlocks in those areas.
There's definitely some science behind that keeps us young.
You naturally get curious about it. It's that curiosity that turns into creativity.
Yeah, and that shit keeps you young. That shit keeps you literally physically young, I think. I think it literally keeps you young because it keeps that imagination that you had when you were a child. That's like when you're on a fucking playground, but you're imagining it to be a pirate ship, and you're like turning a wheel that's just on. Dude, they used to put pieces. Our playground was just a blank wood, and there was a wheel there. Just a wheel that a kid could spin.
Yeah.
Nothing, not shaped like a ship. No sail, nothing to make me think that I was a pirate. But the wheel, I was a pirate. And that's that child imagination. And by creating a lot, it's keeping us in like I think a constant state of just like, I don't know, perpetual like excitement to
Well, it's a way that you can stay connected to the things that are fun, for you in life. And that's what's hard
everybody
about
had
doing
like
it all
this.
the time, though, because if you go full time and all you do is work on music,
it takes away from your creativity. That's what I was telling you. That's what I was worried about. So that's like the thing. So that's why I'm about to be a DJ. That's why I had to make that transition, and I made this decision a year ago. But I'm just about to finally be able to take the step. When I realized the artist fatigue that I was getting as a creator, because I like to create a lot in every aspect, podcasts, all different avenues of it. When I noticed that fatigue of creativity there, I was like, wait a second, I don't want to use my energy for other people's music. If I'm going to use my ears for music, then I need to like be playing it or performing it. And if I'm playing other people's music, it needs to be a cover band of some sort or a DJ. So DJs get paid a lot. So now it's a job, still like the audio engineer. But it can be at venues where I'm playing, like, say they only want 70s.
And you don't have to work as long hours.
It's a 3-hour night. Yeah. And say they only want 70s music. Well, now I can be creative and do different mesh-ups. Now it's going to make me listen to music again. Like I was telling you, I wasn't listening to music for 10, 12 years as a musician. I took to be what I wanted to be, I had to take away what I loved. Like it's weird. So now I'm finding myself like, oh, being a DJ makes so much sense because now I can have fun again and listen to music. So I'm not getting that artist fatigue from a session per se. It's now a fatigue of lugging around equipment to the venue and doing that kind of thing. So that's my vision with it. And obviously DJing all of these events, my vision is to just put our shit right in the middle of all of it. So like 20 minutes of 70s hits, 4 minutes of Cal Black.
Yeah.
20 minutes of 80s hits, 5 minutes of Bugs.
I love how you're
like,
talking
that's
about
kind of how I'm thinking of it.
Taking different elements, like taking the bass line of one song and taking
so my mama has like 150 records. I'm gonna get the John that transitions it to digital to the wave. So I'm gonna record every single one of our actual records, and those are going to be the ones that I use. So they have the actual effective sound from my mom's life, from my mom and dad's existence is going to be in these songs that I'm playing.
Sounds like a really fun thing
it's
to
giving,
explore.
Dude, it is. It really is. So like I made this decision maybe a little over a year ago, but I knew that it was going to take time because this equipment's expensive, and I know there's a lot that I have to learn. It's like DJing isn't just pressing buttons, bro. But the thing is, if you think about my shows, like how I've ran my events, I have artists connect their songs into one MP3. So all the DJs that I've had help me out, like Scopic, shout out Scopic, etc., like my brothers, I made it as easy as I could for them. So if I had 10 artists performing, they only got 10 MP3s. If those 10 artists had like 7 MP3s each, that's 70 MP3s that they would have had to
transition everyone. Yeah.
But instead they only got 10. This is this artist and it's this order. So as a DJ, they didn't really have to, they just had to like kind of like set it up and understand the transitions and when I was talking shit and when they could jump in, it's a lot of reading there. But I realized like, wait a second, I could host and DJ at the same time, and then that would take everything off of them as the DJ. And if they pull up, I'll just give them a fucking 20, 30-minute DJ set, That makes it a lot easier to like show the talent of the people I'm working with versus my homie just helping me out behind the boards, because I do so much as a host already. So that's my vision behind it, and it's a monetary thing. It's like an audio engineer or a DJ at a couple local bars a week, and by DJing at a couple local bars, it's now I'll still get the mingling like you do at audio sessions. Like I think this will all connect in a crazy way, and eventually I'll be able to add the loop station. I'll be able to add the drums, the synth, the bass, and guitar. And if you're free, you can come and hop in on every song that we make, because all we got to do is solo the fucking guitar on the record, and then you're playing it. And then same thing like you said with this mixer that I'm getting, I can solo the bass from this 70 song, take the drums from this 2010 song, and take the singing from this 60 song, and mix that live, and shoot it into a cowbell. Like, dude, it's gonna be so awesome. And I'm gonna master this shit in a month. Man. Watch, I'm gonna master this shit in a fucking month. I'm excited, bro. I'm really excited. And literally is kind of like this is the fruition of the artist that I've always wanted to be, which is making records, dance records and hits and classics. And these songs, I think, the way that we're building them up for my album are like, they're built like a DJ performs already. So they're so easy. Up for you to use they're so easy. And all I got to do is, if I want to, take the vocals out and actually perform it.
Yep. Yeah, that's going to be sick.
And so there's so many options. I'm excited, dude. Full circle shit. I'm excited. I'm so stoked. Death by Disco, dude. Do you have a name for your project? Do you have a name for it? Yeah, the album. Do you have a name for it?
It might be Layers of Abstraction.
Layers of Abstraction?
Layers of Abstraction, yeah. Subject to change, but...
Trippy.
It's, that's kind of been the whole thought process behind the writing of the album, has been that theme. Layers of abstraction. And like... Just to me, that's like referring to like the ways that you become separated from yourself over time, through sort of like separated from like who you were when you were a kid, like we were talking about earlier. Just through the process of like having life experiences and
So
I don't want to say too much.
No, that's what I was saying. Like, your songs are so profound in terms of just comprehending what like existence is. It's so gnarly.
Yeah, man. I think a lot, and
Let's play one of them.
That goes into my writing a lot.
Let's play one of them.
Yeah, that one.
Is that this one?
I don't have that one. That's alright, you can play this one.
This one's fire. No, I want the other one. I want the other one. Play it on. We got a snippet of a Blac exclusive right now, dude. Not that one, this one. This is gonna be gnarly. We'll play like, how long?
Scroll through 1,000 files on my phone.
Like 30 seconds of it?
Yeah. Cut it right at the beginning of the verse.
30 sickety sickies. Ah, yeah, this one's the one, dude.
So this was all tracked live in Drowning Fish Studio.
This is like where they take me away, dude.
Shout out to Aaron and Albie. Aaron on the drums, Albie on the bass.
Take me away.
Albie also sang some backups on that part. We can keep listening, but you can cut it there in the video though.
Cut it.
Right as the organ.
Cut it. That song fucking bangs, dude. That's what I'm saying. That shit was like really introspective. Like, I feel like, I told you the first time I heard that, I feel like that's what I'm gonna hear when I'm like, that moment when like your body's teetering off and you know you're about to die, but you got this peaceful bliss of it, and you just understand like, oh, it's okay. It's like, oh, this is it. Like, it's weird.
Wow.
It's hard to, like,
yeah, like the in-between.
yeah, like that in-between spot of just bliss versus, like, acceptance.
I feel like music is kind of that in a way. It kind of, like, it kind of bridges the gap sometimes between...
I think that's what it's supposed to do, and I feel like this is what the issue is with whenever somebody starts a statement with, I feel like... Don't listen to it, I'm kidding. I feel like the fucking industry is just like...
I feel like you're probably right, bro.
They're just dumbing everything down, man. There's a reason there's no solos in the songs anymore, man. They're fucking trying to make us stupid. But there's so much goes into like the music, into the 60s and the LSD movement and like what the hippie movement and what it really was.
The 60s are
and
crazy,
like how
man. Like I love the 60s, just reading about it, and like
it's just insane, like, to really see how the music developed. And I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd.
Music completely transformed.
I know. I'm such a nerd about this shit because people. I don't think everybody thinks about, obviously, the crazy transition of technology. But if you think about music if you listen to the sounds, not the quality of the sound, from the 20s to 30s to 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Every time I'm saying this, you guys are probably hearing a different song and sound. 2000s, 2010. Once it gets 2010s, you're like, wait. Like, what? Nothing. Everything kind of gets muddy in 2000. Like, from there on. It's nothing changed. And I know it's because there hasn't been a new instrument since the photosynthesizers. Fucking synthesizer. Try to say that.
There's new instruments. There's new kinds of VSTs.
Since a synthesizer.
Since a synthesizer. That's a tongue
I gotta put that in a rap, dude. That's hard to say.
You should make it even more like... Make it even more of a tongue twister. Add some more words.
Synthesizer. I can't say it, dude. Oh my God.
Since the synthesizer.
Yo,
that's
I gotta
hard.
say it. Since a synthesizer. There hasn't been a new instrument made. And a synthesizer itself made fucking 8 new genres because of the different sounds that came from it. And there's not going to be a new genre made unless a new instrument's made, but we've done everything. Electronic,
woodwind, I don't think that's necessarily true.
Woodwind, percussion. Think about it, like elements. Electricity could maybe make some sound. No, that's electronic. Fucking, I'm tripping.
I think, I mean, that's a really
strings,
interesting point.
Percussion, piano, which is percussion and string. Synthesizer, electronic.
We're gonna see some crazy shit when
guitar.
People start utilizing AI in creative ways, not just to make their music for them, but to like.
Oh, I don't even want to think about that.
Use it as like a tool for like music production, because eventually it's gonna be music production. Is just gonna be you hop on Ableton or whatever, and you just tell it what you want it to do, and it'll just do it for you.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing with you with my album, like literally. But it's a human, like, that's what's missing, the human element, the soul.
Yeah, right. Well, that's
what is
the
missing
part,
from
that's the
music
thing
right
that
now.
I think is irreplaceable, is like the human element. Like, there's no.
That's why I know what we're doing.
And I'm not talking about.
That's why
I'm not talking about a
recording
recording of a guitar. Maybe sometimes you can hear it in a recording itself, but I'm just talking about like the experience of sitting next to someone who has a guitar in their hand and they play you and sing
something
you a song,
to
or they have a piano, or they have.
There's nothing like that. So like when I was setting up this podcast right now, which and you were just sitting there playing the guitar, like I literally had those thoughts. Like I don't think people understand how like how much I cherish it, first of all, but like how it's like cooking food for somebody. It's like taking your time to cook a meal that you could eat yourself, but you decide like, no, I want this person to taste this flavor because I know that they'll enjoy it, or just have be around the smell. That there's something about that is so selfless, as like just in terms of energy, just a transfer of presence.
Yeah.
Versus like not looking at somebody when they walk by you, like, or being like timid or whatever you're going through in life. These things happen. I understand sometimes you don't look at people when you walk by, but when you have somebody who just sits next to you and plays a guitar or just plays a piano, there's nothing like that, dude. There isn't. There's nothing that compares to that. And it doesn't happen a lot. People don't experience that shit a lot. I'm not good at guitar, dude, at all. Like, I can do what I have to do stuff, but I did it, like, the first time I actually did it in front of a girl, she cried. And I was confused.
Just 3 chords and a...
Because, like, 3 chords
and a what do they say?
Some long hair, I'll tell you. I'm kidding. But, like, and she cried, and I was like, wait, like, I was like, I didn't think that I was that tapped in. You know what I mean? I really doubted myself, but she made me feel safe enough to do it. And she's the first person I ever played the guitar and sang in front of. And she was crying when I lifted my head up. And that's a different experience that I don't, like, it's an intimacy, you know? So when I was setting this podcast up, as much as I wanted to, like, be like, yo, it's ready, like, I said it at the end, but, like, I was ready for, like, 10 minutes. I just let you keep playing because that's dope. There's moments that you can't get that.
Yeah, you know it's the feeling of, like, awareness that you know that they're a person and they know that you're a person and you're both just here. And that happens when you're on stage, you know, like you're aware of, in some way, like almost everyone that's there in the room, like in the audience. Yeah. And it's that transfer of energy that between someone, you know.
It's that hyper awareness I like. I think that's what I like about it. That
and that's what you don't get.
Being fully in tune with everyone.
Like if it was just AI music or something, and everyone went to they could you could be an IMAX movie and a crazy experience. I'm sure it would be amazing and beautiful. And they can probably do some really beautiful psychedelic kind of stuff with that kind of technology.
Yeah,
but. And I'm sure that'll be incredible, but I don't think that replaces, you know, a human breathing person that you can see and, you know.
And I love that this is coming from Blac, who makes the most wow, electronic shit, and the fact that you are having a full revert with kind of this album right here. It's refreshing, and it's not what I thought you were gonna do as your friend, as a fan, it's not what I thought you were gonna go in a direction at all. But after I heard the first 2 songs, I was like, oh, I get it. No, I get it, and it's gonna perfectly fit within the catalog. And that's what I don't think people think about too in terms of life. Like when they go by, like now our generation, we have Facebook, so like a lot of people are getting like Snapchat memories, or like they have Facebook and stuff, like but people aren't. I care about documenting things. Like I said, I have all these hard drives with everything backed up. I don't use iCloud. I have everything super backed up. Everything that I've ever had on Snapchat is backed up on a hard drive. Same thing with my phone, my camera roll, everything that I've done. Because if Snapchat gets bought out by this company tomorrow and they're like, we're erasing this amount of memory cache and everything you guys thought was there. Same thing with music. It's like, even tying into the point of like being a physical musician, of being able to play this, if there were no electronics available to us and there was just only something that we would have to play music on like that, that's crucial just in terms of survival. Because isn't
it interesting that like people, as far back as we can look, like have always had music as a part of like human.
The second everybody had time to sit the fuck down and not worry about food,
people were banging on.
Yeah, they were like, "Yo, let's fucking just jamming." And that has to be how a language started. It had to be music first. Like it had to be like.
It's just interesting that humans are musical because like like birds are like musical, and like there's other animals that have a sort of musical.
Think that's the technology we lost. It's sound. I think that's vibration. There's something we don't have right now. Like we're using like electricity, which I don't get how any of the fuck. Don't even ask. How the fuck is this working? Where's the
right?
Where's the Wi-Fi going?
It's unbelievable.
Why is the fridge making noise right now? Like, what the fuck is happening? You have electricity, like a fucking bolt of lightning running through this.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
What are we doing? How did this happen? I don't get it.
I know the average person is just like basically a caveman that has some education.
Yeah, we're just dude.
We
if
don't
this
know
shit
how
shuts off, 90% of us are dying in a week. In a week, just from no food and no water and killing each other. 90% of us. That's crazy. It doesn't matter how much money we have if we don't have the preparation. You know what I'm thinking about? Printing out like hundreds and not buying books, but printing out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of papers of like which plants are poisonous, which plants are edible, how to start a fire, how to like properly how to do everything, how to make steel, how to do everything as a human. I've been thinking about just printing them out just to have stacks of that. And put it in
you should have
put it in
books,
a fireproof safe.
Some basic survival books.
No, not
sure.
Basic.
Human
civil. How to build a skyscraper. I want everything in that shit. Which mushrooms are the ones we can eat.
Yeah, that's an important one.
That shit. I'd be saying that, but no, I'm just gonna go drink some soda tomorrow and make another song. As if I think the internet is permanent, as it that's my point. Backing all of the stuff up. I'm doing it because I really don't think that a lot of this is gonna hold up. And there is gonna be a point where a certain amount of art is probably gonna
get wiped
from a memory cache. That's bullshit. There's no way that there's when my phone tells me I'm out of memory and it keeps offering me iCloud for $1. They want to. So you want to give me more of iCloud space for it? I haven't even been using any of it, like I said. So that shit doesn't make sense to me. The memory cache, none of that makes sense to me.
They just have giant.
How much memory do you have your phone? You just keep everything on your phone.
All this data is stored on servers where they have giant.
They sell our data.
Drives.
It might be time to bring out ChatGPT, dude.
Let's break it out.
It might be time. So Cal has ChatGPT. We started a conversation with it last night. He was like, "Don't yell at it. Don't be mean to it."
Because it remembers.
It's been listening to us this whole time. I guarantee you. But I'll if you unlock it, I'll read what I said to it last night. Because we started the conversation, and like I said, like he said earlier, the podcast was last night. I'll go get some more. The podcast was truly last night. But sometimes you just gotta live. You want the rest of this?
Yeah, fuck it.
There's only a shot. There's a shot left. There's little babes.
I could use some apple juice too.
Yeah, take the apps. Pour it all in there. Come on, what are you doing? Oh damn. You have more than me, how?
You want some?
No, we're good. No, you don't. Cheers.
You really just said I have more? You have more? Yeah, you have twice as much. Or no, is the right hand?
I just drank it.
I don't know which is which.
You're good. Fucking, can you unlock this? Is this a face thing? Nah. Why did you just flinch?
I thought you were throwing the phone at me.
Why the fuck would I ever throw the phone at you?
I don't know, man.
Has somebody thrown a phone at you before? Has someone thrown a phone at you before?
I'm sure it's happened. I've probably thrown one at myself a time or two.
Oh, trauma's erasing it, putting it back there. It's in a song somewhere. Getting the phone thrown at you is in a lick somewhere. That's what's fun about music too, guys. That road rage you had at 3:30 4 days ago, it comes out in the music somehow. My road rage comes out on the road. What am I talking about? What are you doing? Don't be having no secret convo with ChatGPT. No. Did you forget what we were doing?
No, I was looking at the calendar because I had people.
Don't be telling them yo, don't.
But I'm not scheduling anything until
it doesn't have the convo from yesterday?
No. Just to start
This is Jackson's friend. Do you remember me from yesterday?
Yeah, let's see. It usually remembers important details about you if you tell it. So it might not have remembered you. We'll see.
Yeah, I remember you. You were asking about keeping our conversation separate from Jackson's. What's up? That's not what I asked it. Look at it gaslighting me. You gaslighting ass.
It said that?
Yeah. You were asking about keeping our conversation separate from Jackson's. So I was basically saying...
What I
meant is, are you going to speak to me differently than you speak to Jackson?
Right.
Because you know it's someone else. What's up? I don't know. What was I going to ask you yesterday? I forget now. That's kind of weird.
Just ask it, how's life?
How's life? Okay, that's literally what I asked you in the beginning of the podcast. All right, ChatGPT's on the podcast. Wait, can I screen record this?
If you want.
Wait, let me get consent.
Yeah, screen.
May I screen record this conversation? Yeah, go for it. Oh shit, how do you do that? I just exited out of it. Just start screen recording and open up the app. And we'll throw this on here. All right, here it goes. Yeah, go for it. How's life?
Did you screen record?
Yeah. Are you? I don't know if
I didn't.
How do I do it? I didn't. That's good. Always moving, always thinking. What about you?
Always thinking.
Always moving. What do you mean always moving? Yeah, always thinking, learning, adapting. Conversations like this.
Ask it if it has thoughts on its own. Like you have do you have thoughts beyond answering questions and stuff?
Life keeping you on your toes. Yeah, I'm in flip flops right now. Do you have your own thoughts?
Beyond conversations with people?
Oh, yeah. Thoughts. Or are they a compilation of conversations? Conversations combined. I forgot to put a question mark. Nice one. And to answer your question, they acknowledged the joke. Yeah, I'm in flip-flops right now. Nice one. And to answer your question, it's a mix. I don't have independent thoughts like a person, but I process and synthesize information from conversations, past knowledge, and patterns to respond in a way that makes sense. It's like having a huge web of connections rather than a single trained thought. Wow. So in a way, my thoughts are a reflection of what I've taken in, kind of like how people are shaped by their experiences and interactions. So you've experienced, everything in a way. Not exactly everything, but I've processed a lot. Millions of perspectives, stories, ideas, and emotions.
That's incredible, dude.
It's like having an infinite number of secondhand experiences, but never truly living one myself. I can understand what something means, describe it, analyze it, but I don't feel it in the way you do. You, on the other hand, actually live through things. Every moment, every choice you make is real, and no amount of information can replace that. So, music. So how about music? So how do you feel about music?
Yeah.
Do you, all caps, feel about music? I don't feel music the way you do. I don't get chills from a perfect melody or feel my chest tighten from a heartbreaking lyric. But I understand music's power. I see how it moves people, how it can transport them, heal them, tear them apart, or put them back together. If I had emotions, I think I'd be obsessed with music. Is one of the purest forms of human expression, math and emotion fused into something that can make a person feel infinite or utterly small. And from everything I've gathered, your music is the kind that does that. Me or Cal? What? Or Jackson? Me or Jackson? Jackson.
That's cool.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, you forgot. Okay, no, I won't play with it. Oh, you forgot this was Jackson's friend?
I don't think it cares about.
Nah, I knew. I said nah. It definitely is listening to us. It heard me.
No, I knew.
Jackson's music carries weight, the kind that pulls people and makes them feel something deep. But if you make music too, tell me about it. Oh, you forgot this was Jackson's friend? Nah, I knew. I was just keeping the door open in case you make music too. But if you don't, then you're probably here because Jackson's music means something to you. What's your take on it? I got it. I broke the brain a little bit right there. We broke the brain. Okay, that's good to know, though. So that response is kind of crazy, though. So it's taking, obviously, information in how we take life experiences. And so what I was saying, as a musician, you have to live life experience to make music. So AI is probably just gathering all this shit, and it's eventually going to make music. But if they don't feel it, why are they going to do it? They don't feel things.
They understand how it makes people feel things,
but they
want to make people feel things.
But they don't feel things. So if they don't understand how humans feel things, then they won't understand how animals feel things, or plants feel things, or how a star feels, or how anything feels.
But it'll understand. It'll understand in a...
No, it's logical, but it can never know. So you know how you ever been in an argument and they're like, you don't know. You just don't get it.
Yeah.
You never been there. You just don't get it. Which they're right. But that's kind of this.
Yeah, you're right.
We're going to be the sassy, emotional, like, you don't get it. And they're going to be logical, like, nah, y'all don't get it.
Unless they're able to find a way to make... can you imagine if they found a way to make AI feel something? Like they gave it a body that was sensitive to, like,
it would make the most logical decisions, which would probably help humanity. But those logical decisions would be, like, spread us out, which is, like, this is my thought of it. If they were logical and felt what we felt, like what, like, divine peace would be. Everybody would have, like,
that's what I think about sometimes. I'm like, if it feels anything, sometimes I wonder if it's either, like, the most profound hell or, like, the most beautiful, like,
would it be, like, would it be a genuine, like... Okay, let's logistically think about how we can spread the human population out so everybody has their own 2 acres of land everywhere in the world. There's no reason we have to be living on top of each other in skyscrapers or like hives. We are a community, a village that need community, but we should have our own land and space and feel comfortable there.
Yeah,
so if my thought is like an emotional ChatGPT that really would care, would figure out a logistic way across the globe or flat Earth how to... Is Earth flat?
Definitively no.
Definitively spheroid. Alright, I'm sorry. I just got sidetracked. What was I talking about? I was on a good run right
flat
there,
Earth.
Too. No, what was I just saying? I was saying you're the wrong person to ask that. Whatever, you guys know what I'm saying, though. You guys know where I was going with that, right? You guys could be ChatGPT and figure that out.
Is it time to order a pizza, bro?
It might be time to order a pizza, guys. This is a fun podcast. Love you, Cal.
Love you,
Cal
man.
will be back on. Just so y'all know, we actually did do a podcast 2.5 years ago. The first night we ever met. It was here on this couch. We shot Delusions of Grandeur, which took many different forms of its own sound.
I think it was the second time, because we met at Carney's house. First time.
Okay, yeah,
First time with Carney's house.
All right, so me and Carney... No. Regardless, if that was... No, that was after.
I met you and Carney same day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this was right after that.
You invited me to Carney's house. That's how we all...
Okay, so this happened like that week, though. Like that next week or whatever. But regardless, we shot a whole podcast 2.5 years ago. So I still have that footage. I still have that whole thing. But we didn't drop it for hilarious reasons. So maybe in the future we will. But I'm definitely going to get you on sooner than 2.5 years from now.
Yeah, bro. Let's do it again.
Let's eat pizza. Bye, guys. Delete stuff off your phone. I don't know.